Welcome back to the shed. Come on, you little butter. So, I have another internal combustion engine on the bench today. Why won't you start? What's the matter with you? Now, I'm unsure of the manufacturer of it. It could be a Microcosm, an OKMO, or possibly a Musa brand, as it seems to share the same wooden base type as other Musa engines that I have. You won't start. Why won't you start? Oh, you let me down, baby. Now, this is the M17 1.6cc single-cylinder 4-stroke petrol hit-and-miss engine. It was sent to me from the well-known global online marketplace Banggood, and although I did have a few little problems to begin with, Banggood sent some replacement parts which got the engine working just fine. And its size is absolutely gorgeous, and it's a lot smaller than any of my other engines I've had before. Now, it's an open crank design, and it does have this little cover over the spinning crank for safety, but I'm going to remove the cover just so that you can see all the inner workings of the engine, the crank, conrod and even the piston up through the cylinder. It's got a counterweighted pair of crank discs, and the conrod connects up to the piston as expected, and it's nice to be able to expose this. And as you can see, the compression is good. So I thought I'd run through the engine and point out all the individual components of a hit-and-miss engine, for those who don't know. So, first of all, obviously that's the fuel filling cap, as you just saw me filling the engine. Now, the base of the engine is the entire fuel tank. The fuel is drawn up from a pipe that goes down to the bottom of the tank and up through to the fuel mixer. This is the air intake, and then you've got a needle valve to control the flow of fuel. It's not really a carburetor as such, as it does not have like a Venturi or a butterfly throttle, so you only need to set the fuel flow once, as the engine speed is regulated by the governor. The spark plug in this engine is your standard Model Engineering 1/4 inch by 32 threads. This is energised by a pulse of high voltage from the high tension lead. On the intake stroke, air is drawn into the cylinder through this sprung-loaded valve using the vacuum drawn by the piston. The exhaust valve is operated by a rocker arm which is connected to the pushrod. There's a small exhaust pipe just here, and of course the on and off switch. The exhaust valve is controlled via the pushrod, which is in turn controlled via the pushrod latch arm. This holds the exhaust valve open, allowing the engine to freewheel without compression or fuel during the miss cycles. This hit and miss type of cycle is controlled by the governor. The governor has spring-loaded weights on the flywheel, which, when the flywheel is spinning, these will push outwards with centrifugal force, engaging the pushrod latch, making the engine freewheel. As the engine slows, the governor latch will retract, the exhaust will close, and the engine will begin another firing or hit cycle. The crank discs are counterbalanced to give a smooth running engine, and driven from the crank is a brass pulley wheel which can be used to drive peripheral equipment. Inside the pulley is a very small magnet which operates a reed switch every time it passes. The tiny reed switch is inside this little black plastic enclosure, which is activated by the magnet, sending a signal to discharge the capacitor to the spark plug. The engine is water cooled by this hopper, but to be fair, it really doesn't get very hot at all. Well, if you've got this far through the video, please give it a thumbs up, as this helps to promote my videos. And you can subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my new films. If you would like to support this channel, you could buy me a coffee at ko-fi.com. Please see the link in the description below, and also a link to where to buy this engine with my special discount. In the slow motion film, you can see how the pushrod latch lever engages and disengages, holding the exhaust valve open so that the air can pass in and out without any resistance. Then, as the engine slows down, the latch will disengage and allow it to fire again. A load on the engine will make the engine hit on every cycle. Without load, it will hit and then miss several cycles, giving it its name, the hit and miss engine. The engine is a 4-stroke cycle, but only fires when the engine slows to release the catch, so it may fire once in every, say, 8 or 10 crank rotations. It does tend to blow a bit of oil through the exhaust, especially when first starting, so I might well build myself a nice vertical exhaust to add to this engine. Well, as you can see, this engine is quite beautiful. It's a perfectly formed miniature scale beauty, and it just ticks over very nicely indeed. It's such a pleasure to watch. Well, I want to thank Banggood for sending me this to review. And as always, I want to thank all you people, followers and subscribers, for all your continued support and kind comments over the years. So, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.